Hi, this is Bill Stinnett with Sales Excellence. And today I want to respond to the question, how do you close more sales opportunities? Or you could phrase this question, how do I increase my opportunity win rate or my closure rate? And I really think that the main issue that we see for many salespeople is they really don't put themselves in a position where they can close business. And let me explain what I mean. We really don't give ourselves a chance because we make several mistakes along the way that don't put us in a position where we can ask for closure, where we can ask for the business, where it's appropriate, let's say, to bring closure. And so I think we have to stop doing some things that I'm going to list here for you that will increase the likelihood that you actually are in a position to close. Number one, we have to stop trying to close too early. What happens many times is that we start working on our timetable. We put out a proposal, maybe prematurely. Customer isn't quite ready. They're not quite very far along in their buying process necessarily. So we put out a proposal too early because we want to close it. And when we send a proposal too early, we introduce pricing too early before we've really sold value, before we've met the various people that might be involved in the customer's buying process, we really set ourselves up for failure. By trying to close too early, we start putting pressure on the client. They start backing up, of course, and now it creates this adversarial relationship. And so we have to give ourselves a chance to close by closing at the right time and not getting ahead of our customer in our sales process, rushing down to the end of our sales process when our customer is still early on in their buying process. Number two, we have to stop trying to close the wrong person. This is huge. Too many times we meet one person in an account, and I don't know, maybe they're even a manager or even a director level, and we put a proposal together and we say, here we go, Mr. Johnson, here's our proposal. Are you ready to buy? And they say, well, we need to think about this a little bit. We're going to have a committee meeting next Tuesday. And then if whatever the committee decides, we're going to send that up to senior management. And those folks will look this over, compare this to some other projects that we'll get back to you. We'll let you know. Well, obviously, if we try to close that person that we're dealing with, who has to go back to a committee, who has to then in turn go back to senior management, you can't possibly close the business because you're trying to close the wrong person. They can't say yes. All the more reason, as you've heard me say many, many times, we should try and every idea we possibly can to meet more people involved in the process. First of all, we have to understand what the process is and who the people are involved in that process. And then we've got to get creative on how to meet more of those people. And you've heard me talk about this before. Bring other people into the discussion. Trade them something they want for some access that you want. Get creative on figuring out ways to meet more people, and then we've done other segments on that. But we need to meet more of the people involved in the process early on so that when it comes toward the end, we actually have access to the right person or people with whom we can say, are you ready to move forward? You can ask to close the business. We have to stop expecting deals to close themselves. This is painful to even talk about. Way too much of the time today, because we've become so used to using email for correspondence, we've forgotten how to call customers. We've forgotten how to go see customers. We all do it all via email, right? We type to them to try to close business. The problem is that when you send a proposal or something over to your client and say, here's our proposal, read it through and let us know what you think, we're in essence asking them to close themselves. We're asking them to call us back when they're ready to buy. And you know the folly in this. How many proposals have you sent out in the last 3 months where the customer got the proposal and just sat on it? They didn't do anything. And when you try to call them back, they won't even return your phone calls, and you try to send an email and they don't respond. We've all had this experience. This happens because we expect deals to close themselves. And here's why. Number 4, we need to, whenever possible, present a proposal either in person or live on the phone. Now you can do this via web conference, or you can get them on the phone and you can email the proposal over and say, okay, Bob, did you get it? Let's walk through this. But it gives you the opportunity, whether you're in person or you're live on the phone, to in fact ask for closure. You can say, here's the proposal, Mr. Johnson. Since we've walked through it here, is there any reason you wouldn't want to move forward with this today? Would you like to move ahead on it? Do you want to get this going now, or would you rather get started on Monday? I can be there either Friday or Monday to deliver. Which one is best for you? You come up with a zillion different ways to ask this question. It can be asked in a closed-ended question. Are you ready to move forward? It could be more of an open-ended question. How would you like to take delivery of this? But we need to ask some sort of a closing question to find out, are we ready to move forward or are we not? Now, sometimes we're simply afraid to ask that question because we don't want the no. Oh my gosh, what if they say, no, we're not ready to move forward? Guys, you can handle that. We're going to have other segments here that talk about overcoming objections and how to handle problems that you encounter when you ask for closure. You can handle it. You're an adult. You can get through this. If you hear a no, you're going to survive. But that's not even the biggest issue. I think most of us are past that. The bigger issue is that we email stuff over to them and we can't close. It just sits there now in their inbox, and now they can't ignore us. Now they can go on vacation and not get back to us, and we end up chasing them, and you know the problems that occur. So if we want to close more business, we have to put ourselves in a position where we can close. Don't try to close too early. Don't try to close with the wrong person. Don't expect it to close itself. Go see the customer, get them on the phone, walk through the thing, and ask a closing question. Would you like to move forward with this? And I have no doubt, I'm certain, that you'll see your closure rate increase. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.